Hello there, Star Wars toy fans. This is Jim, and thank you again for stopping by my YouTube channel. So if you've been following my series, I've been comparing the original Kenner Star Wars action figures to that of the Hasbro, at least what I have in my collection. And so today we are focusing on the Hoth Rebel Soldier. Now, from what I can find out on JediBusiness.com, there have been 15 releases of the 3 3/4 inch versions of the Hoth Rebel Soldier. Now, some of them are re-releases of the same figure. Some have the same body but different head sculpts. What you see pictured on the right and the center are 4 different versions that I own. So it's not a complete set by any stretch of the imagination. And the ones on the left are, of course, the vintage Kenner one. So this is the one from my childhood, and he has 5 points of articulation, so the head moves and the arms also move, and then the legs sit. I know this is my vintage one because I can tell from my other ones, because the hand is silver, and I painted my guns silver so I could find them if I lost them on the carpet. That was quite a task to get all the silver paint off those. Now, I also included another one that I was given by a former student way back in the 1990s. And I then picked up an authentic gun, not a repro, but an authentic gun years later. And he actually has the survival backpack on it. And so this came from their survival kit, which was a mail-in exclusive. And this guy has really, really stiff joints, and the paint's really nice on it. But I have about 4 of these Rebel Troopers because I like to set up a Hoth battle with my son. We did a really cool battle at Christmas, and it was a lot of fun. So, getting to look at the Hasbro ones, Hasbro in 1997, with their Power of the Force collection, produced 2 different figures. Now, this one is just came with a regular blaster, well, I guess rifle with a sling, and he has a removable backpack, for whatever that's worth. Has 6 points of articulation, so as with most of the figures at the time, the waist swiveled, and that was really only the additional aspect of it. There is a pistol in the holster, but it is not removable. Now, the next figure that Hasbro came out with the same year, 1997, was the one that came with the anti-vehicle laser cannon. So this guy also has 6 points for articulation, as well as a removable backpack, which makes it kind of nice if you need to remove it when putting them in the collector case, which is how I store my figures. But let's take a look at the anti-vehicle laser cannon here. This is much bigger than what Hasbro or what Kenner produced in their accessories series. And maybe I should do a comparison on those one of these days. But here it is. It has an explosion feature, which is kind of cheesy, but it's cool nonetheless. So you hit that little button and the dish pops off. And then it's got these molded tracks in there that don't really do anything other than look fancy. It does have a releasing missile here, so if you press this button on the back, then you can shoot that little missile. And that's kind of fun. It's got some cool reflectors there. My brother and I used to have this debate, and of course he ended up being right. I called it a radar dish. He called it a laser cannon. He was correct. So if you're listening to this video, Eric, there you're getting your public vindication. Now we'll move to the later versions. The 2004 SAGA Hoth Evacuation set came with this figure, and this is probably my least favorite of all of them. He doesn't really stand very well on his own. There you go. Won't even stand for the camera, so we'll just kind of bring him down here. You have to put him at quite a stance here. He does have this this rifle, and does fit pretty well inside the hand, although I guess it's okay. He has then a molded blaster that does not come out, and the backpack does come off like the rest. And nothing real fancy. It just has the same 6 points of articulation that the other figures did. This guy cannot sit, though, So it's really limited because of the jacket and how stiff that is. So it kind of is what it is. They re-released this in same figure in 2007. Now we'll take a look at another figure that's been released multiple times by Hasbro. And this one came out in 2010 in the Defense of the Hoth. And now we're getting into some real fancy articulations on this. And this is probably my favorite of the four modern ones. And so the hat is removable, okay? And that's how you can kind of tell which figure it is, as is the backpack. And then his gun is also removable from the holster. I'll leave it in there for now. The jacket is fabric here, so it does allow the guy to fully sit, which is awesome. So you could use him like as a tech person if you were to build an Echo Base command center. So now let's take a look at the arms. So we have not only do the arms go up and down, but they also can swivel in and out, which is really cool. At the shoulder, he turns at the elbow, and then the wrists rotate. And that's the case for both arms. So really awesome there. They have these nice sculpts there where the legs rotate around, and the feet can also rotate around and kind of tilt up and down to a limited degree. It's pretty well concealed, at least the articulation points. Really, really well done. So you can, they did that molding right where you have the mesh there. So, and then of course the knees do bend. You can see the hinge point there. So he can literally sit in a chair, which is great. So here we have him in the command center. And as you can see, he fits really nicely in the chair. Now, this is the command center that I built, kind of scratch built. I've done a video on that. And these, both the consoles and the chairs, you can order from Hole in the Ground Productions. And you can just see he sits really nicely there and then fits nicely at the computer console. Over there is Torrin Farr. She's part of the Black Series. But anyway, I think that's kind of why this is really my favorite sculpt of all of them, is it's got some universal features and the articulation is pretty stiff, unlike the video that I did on the AT-AT driver, which things were pretty loose. This is a whole lot better sculpt than some of the earlier versions that they were doing. So anyway, hope that encourages you, and I would greatly encourage you guys to research on if you're trying to build your army. Research on JediBusiness.com the different versions that Hasbro has come up with, and you can have quite a neat variety of your Hoth Rebel Troopers. Well, I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and we'll see you at a later date. Bye.